Hi, welcome to another quick tip from Think Creative TV. Hope that you enjoy this, and if you do, it'd be great if you could subscribe and click the like button below. But let's get started with our tip of the day. So in this video, we're going to take a look at how we can add additional content into our OneNote. We've already had a look at how we can add additional pages. Let's take a little bit of a look at the stuff that we can actually add. We're also going to take a look at how we can add things from other apps that might be on your device. So let's jump back into our notebook here and let's start a new page. Now we've highlighted before the different things that we can add in. So across the top, we have our text editing suite. So, if I want to change this to bold, etc., underline things, I just tap on the screen and I can start to type away. You'll see that adds it as a text box, which is nice because I can actually then position this wherever I want to on the page. So it's more free form than you might have with a Word document. Consider it kind of like a hybrid of Word and PowerPoint, because you're not fixed into where you actually place those things. You can choose to place them around wherever you like. So like I said, we can change the font styles, all the sorts of things that you're used to in a word processing app. We can also insert those things that we looked at before in terms of the file types. So pictures, using the camera on the device, which is really, really useful, adding in audio, files that might be on your device. And we'll take a look at that in a second in terms of how we can utilize the storage on the iPad. We can then also add in PDFs, etc., and the stickers that we looked at before. Nice other touch within Class Notebook is the ability to add in our drawing. So we can tap on the drawing tools that we have access to here. If I tap on it again, I can choose all sorts of things. These nice color pens are really nice. You can change the thickness of the pen, etc. And then when you draw on the page, you'll see that you get a nice effect. Sometimes it's playful, other times you might just want a simple colour, but lots and lots of choices that you can have in here. And then if you tap through the different ink pens that you can use, the highlighter pen, etc., lots of different things that you can start to utilise in your classroom. We can also choose those and add in specific pens that we might use for different purposes. So rather than having to go into each one and choosing specifically, I want to change the color, I can have this preset as a pen that is going to be maybe a green pen, and I want that to be that thickness, and I can add another pen in here that's going to be a white pen maybe, and it's going to be a bit of a thinner ink, and you'll see that you can pre-create your own selection tool across the top here. We can also add in shapes directly. We can choose ink to shape, and this is quite a nice touch. So as I draw on the page, I can have this turn into a shape for me. It doesn't seem to want to do it for me at the moment. Oops, make sure it's selected on. There we go. So that's going to turn those. So if you're not great at making shapes as you're drawing on your page, if you're creating something that you want students to look through, like a workflow kind of diagram of what you expect them to do, and you want to add some information into the shapes, you can do that quite easily by just drawing them on there. So that's how we can add those things in. Last one to just have a look at on here is the lasso. So this just allows me to select different elements on the page and move them around. So it might be as you started to design something, you think, actually, I need to have this in a different place. So that's how we can add content onto our pages. So a really, really nice touch on there. Let's have a look at how we can add content if we were from another app altogether. So for this, I'm going to jump first of all into Pages on my device, and here's some text that I've put together, and I want to share that to my notebook. I simply tap on the three dots at the top, the More, I tap on Share, and then you can see here that I have the options to share it to specific apps. Now, if the apps that you want are not showing here, if you go to the end and tap on More, it might be that they're in the bottom section. And if you tap Edit, you can just choose to move them by tapping on the plus, and it will move it into the top section. You can also move the most commonly used ones by tapping on the hamburger here, and you can move them up and down. So it's just quick and easy for you to access. So I'm just going to add this to OneNote. You'll see that it just comes up with this share frame. I can choose exactly where I want to share it to. So it's going to go into our class notebook. it's going to go into our content library. And we'll just add it into this using the content library section for now. But obviously you might have added in additional sections, and I tap send and away it's gone. I can do exactly the same thing for a Keynote presentation. So let's imagine that this is something I want to share with my students. I can tap on again the more, tap share, choose OneNote, just check that it's going into the place I want it to go to. And again, as we build this, there might be specific sections. I might have, lecture overviews, session presentations, whatever it might be. But all you need to do is tap send and away that's gone. So let's just jump back into Notebook and see where that's appeared then. So we added it into our content library section. Actually, it was in our using the content library section. And here you'll see that there's that accessibility document that I'd created before, and there's the Digital Foundations lecture presentation that I'd created. And you'll see it just takes all of the metadata from that document and just adds it straight in there, which I can tap on that document and tap preview, and it will take me to have a look at that document. If it's one that I want to edit, if it's a scaffold that I want to give my students, all they need to do is tap on the share icon, and they would do the same thing in reverse by choosing where they want that document to go. And again, if you can't see the app that you want to use, you'll probably find it in your additional apps by tapping on more. I can tap on copy to pages, and it's going to take me back and give me a version of this document that I may then want to add information to. Now you can do that with pretty much any app on the device, depending on what you've created. So if it is a photo, within my Photos app, I'd be able to find a photo and share that directly to Class Notebook. So if I tap on my photos, let's say that I want to share this image here, I can tap on share. You'll see that OneNote comes up as an option. I can choose where I want that to go. In this case, let's put this directly in a student's handout. Tap send, away it's gone. And again, let's just double check. So if I go into my notebooks, let's go back and find that student, and I tapped it into notebooks, and here you go, here's that photo been added in. So really, really quick way to be able to add things from your device from one app to another app, but also looking at how we can very simply use the tools across the top to add content directly into Notebook.